Okay, today I want to discuss a common RevOps concept called TAM, which is Total Addressable Market, where we model market size for go-to-market planning. So here I want to basically explain how to calculate TAM using top-down, bottom-up, and value-based models, and how RevOps teams apply these to segmentation and to forecasting. So Total Addressable Market, TAM, represents the maximum conceivable revenue opportunity for a product or service, assuming that 100% penetration of a defined market at a given price point. So it establishes the strategic horizon for GTM investments, it informs capacity planning, and it anchors executive discussions about long-term potential. So when properly estimated, TAM provides context for resource allocation, for fundraising pitches, and for go-to-market roadmaps. When a TAM is inflated or if it's underspecified, then it breeds misaligned expectations and wasted effort. So let's go through a top-down analysis of how to calculate TAM. So beginning with the macro level industry data, this is from government statistics, analyst reports, syndicated research. A RevOps team will apply filters for geography, for verticals, for buyer personas to isolate relevant spend pools. So for example, a SaaS vendor targeting US mid-market financial services might start with total US IT spending in financial services and then apply average software share and mid-market proportion. This market is a rapid deductive method and low cost, but vulnerable to over-inclusion. So proxies often subsume adjacent markets or omit nuanced buyer constraints, leading to kind of hairball TAMs that obscure realistic opportunities. The opposite way of calculating this, or really the inverse way of calculating this, is a bottom-up analysis. So a bottom-up analysis is where you build from internal intelligence. So bottom-up models multiply discrete addressable units, where number of target accounts or user personas by expected annual spend per account. So a B2B provider might count, let's say, 15,000 eligible enterprises and estimate a 20K average annual contract and adjust for estimated adoption rates, right? And this approach yields a high fidelity projections tied to actual unit economics. But it hinges on accurate data capture. So account lists and historical win rates and things like that. And also credible assumptions about uptake curves. So then finally, outside of the top-down analysis and bottom-up analysis, we've got value-based modeling. Now, value-based modeling is where we're moving beyond list price metrics. So value-based TAM derives total opportunity from aggregate economic benefit delivered, which is cost savings and productivity gains or revenue uplift enabled by the solution. So RevOps teams will actually quantify the customer benefit, for instance, like an automation that saves 5 hours of work per week at an average loaded labor cost and estimate a realistic share of that value that the market would pay. So while aligning TAM with customer willingness to pay, WTP, another important economic concept, this method requires rigorous customer research and robust modeling of value capture rates. So how do we integrate these methods while ensuring that we have rigor in our pursuit of accurate TAM? So the best practices of RevOps really triangulates across three approaches. These three approaches are data gathering, where we collect macro data like IDC and Gartner and internal funnel metrics and customer ROI case studies. And then we perform assumption documentation. So we log every filter and multiplier with provenance. So for example, mid-market defined as 10 million minus 500 million revenue per US Census SME data, right? Next, we do cross-validation where we compare top-down and bottom-up TAM outcomes. So all of these TAM calculations, top-down, bottom-up, and value-based, these aren't mutually exclusive. We perform all of them. And then we reconcile significant gaps with deeper research or adjusted segmentation. So if one of these TAMs is way off from the others, we want to know why. And then finally, we perform dynamic forecasting. So we layer adoption models like base diffusion or S-curve onto static TAM to project realistic market capture over a multi-year timeline. So what are the pitfalls and guardrails that we can apply to TAM? So over-reliance on a single methodology and vice bias. This is a pitfall. So top-down overshoots, bottom-up ignores emergent demand, value-based inflates capture rates. These are all weaknesses or pitfalls that you have with these different methods. And RevOps mitigates by updating TAM quarterly. So you want to update your TAM quarterly, validating against early sales performance and revisiting segmentation filters as your ideal customer personas evolve. So with disciplined TAM modeling, transparent assumptions and multi-method triangulation and continuous recalibration, RevOps teams provide leadership with a grounded view of market potential and a defensible basis for strategic investment.